Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I was just hoping to talk to you guys. I do a live stream show.
Hey, Sam.
Are you with Tacoma Housing Now?
Yes.
Okay. Walk me through what's going on, man.
Well, after repeated attempts to find more permanent housing solutions for people here, we're occupying the hotel. There have been empty rooms and space here. This hotel's basically operated like little to no occupancy. And, I mean, honestly, people are freezing to death outside. And with COVID-19, shelters are operating at less capacity or not open at all.
Right.
We've had 4 people die during the winter already.
Right here in Tacoma?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
What would you say is a list of demands? If there was a list of, are you considering them demands right now, or?
I suppose you can call them demands. Essentially, we're looking for permanent housing solutions for the people who are staying here and other people who are sleeping outside.
Who are you looking to get those? Is that from the city, the county?
The city of Tacoma.
The city of Tacoma.
Right now we're hoping that the city of Tacoma will reimburse the owner of the travel lodge for the people staying here.
I talked to the front desk employee, and he did say that it was a stressful point for the owner, Sean, just because of the loss of revenue. Is that a concern for? Is Tacoma Housing Now? Are they willing to reimburse, or what is there any plans for that at all, other than maybe the city?
No, we're hoping that the city of Tacoma will reimburse Sean for his cost.
Right. Have you met Sean?
I personally haven't.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't been around a whole lot from what I've seen.
Yeah. Is this the first time you guys have ever done anything like this?
No. If you Tacoma Housing Now was involved in a couple other things for trying to house people.
Yeah. What's the end game? Like, what? I mean, not just here, but I mean, what do you think is what needs to happen to make a change? It's not going to elicit situations like this.
People need to take care of each other. We need to find ways for people to be safe and warm and secure.
Yeah.
And it's just a community responsibility.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. I mean, what needs to happen is, there's places for people to stay that are warm and available, and they're just not being made a priority.
What types of places are those?
Well, I mean, hotels and that kind of thing are a good option as well. But also, I mean, there's just, there's shelters that could be operating. There's properties that are, not being utilized, that are owned, by...
Has anybody talked to anybody about these schools right now that aren't being used because of COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Because it would seem like that's a lot of big space.
Open space, yeah.
With auditorium spacing. It seems like that would be a viable option for larger groups of people, right?
I don't know if you were familiar with GALT, but the local government seems to react really, really quickly when it's their property, and very slowly when it's private property.
Yeah. Have you had any interactions with the police?
There was a brief interaction with Fife, I think it was the chief of police, who just said that they were working to find a solution, but we haven't seen them at all.
Are you afraid of any kind of legal reprisal? Any kind of
I wouldn't say I'm afraid. It's certainly a possibility.
What would that be? Is this I know a lot of people are curious, is this considered trespassing, or are you guys considered residents now, or how does that work?
My understanding with residency would be staying here for 2 weeks without, being asked to vacate.
Right.
Trespassing involves being, the police being called and, having somebody say you're trespassing.
Sure.
That, to my knowledge, has not happened yet.
So it seems like the owner of the hotel is based off that, maybe being a little bit more lenient than I think a lot of people are expecting.
He has expressed being amenable to making this into housing.
Really?
For homeless populations and for COVID relief.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if the city is willing to foot the bill for that, it could be a win-win situation.
Sure.
Hotels are losing a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Nobody's traveling, nobody's staying anywhere.
Right. Well, I mean, with this being privately owned and based off what you just said, I know that lights, water, heat, those things are costing money, and I know that's Sean's, the owner, I'm sure, is probably having to flip the bill for that right now, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. That's tough. I mean, is there any thoughts on, as a business owner, like, what if it were, if you heard that was going to put him out of business? Is that something that a risk that you were willing to take as an organization?
Yeah.
Wow. But then, what if it put him out in the streets then?
Well, that would be an interesting situation. Frankly, I mean, the guy owns and operates a hotel. I'm not sure that it's that dire of a situation. But, no.
What now? I hear that there's a protest in the morning down in the parking lot, that people are coming out to maybe in solidarity or...
I think there might be something like that organized, yeah.
Of this, I heard 16 rooms are occupied right now. Is that an accurate assessment?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Of the occupants of the 16 rooms, are they transient, or are they people that are active, are kind of being activists for the transient population?
They are both. Everybody here is participating in this action.
Are you homeless?
No.
Oh, okay. It's really interesting to see that that something like this could happen, because it's a private business, and so you would assume that there would be more of a direct action situation from law enforcement and from the owner, and it seems like there's big statements being made on both sides right now about the legitimacy of what's happening.
Yeah, it seems that local government and police enforcement are content to stand back and see what happens.
Yeah. Do you feel that if the demands aren't met and the police show up, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, when I say show up, I mean if they come and they say, "Hey, it's time to go," like grab your stuff type thing. Yeah. Are you willing to leave?
It depends entirely on how the people residing here are taken care of.
Sure. If they move everybody to a new location, is that something that would that be,
that's absolutely an amenable situation as long as they're actually being taken care of. Little tiny home communities with tons of guidelines and strictures and 24-hour surveillance are conditions that nobody wants to live in.
Sure. And those are things that they've done in Seattle. They had the tiny homes up there for a while. And what were the thoughts on that as a group? Did those work out at all? I mean, it sounds like
there was a tiny home thing discussed with the residents here. The rules that they want people to follow there, including being under surveillance for 24 hours.
Sure. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. They don't believe that people who... I don't know why they would want somebody to have to live in those conditions.
Right.
I'm sure you wouldn't want to be surveilled 24/7.
No. You keep hearing terms, whenever anyone talks about the homeless population, you hear talk about drug use as well. They get brought into the same dialogue. And do you feel that that's part of, not saying what's happening here, but in general, is that part of an issue that's kind of happening amongst the homeless community here?
I think lots of people use drugs, and homeless people do too.
Yeah. Man. So the short list of demands would be, if you could bullet point them, it would be...
The real short list is to either fund keeping people here or to have a viable location for everybody to stay in.
Wow. Okay, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Do you mind if I look in the room? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can take a peek.
That'd be great. I know everyone is saying that the rooms were probably destroyed, but
no. Everybody here is really, really stoked to have a place to keep safe and warm for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've visited homeless encampments before, but
I have.
Then you probably know that the lack of garbage removal and that kind of thing leads to some very unsanitary conditions.
Absolutely.
No, everybody's been thrilled. Garbage pickups happen without a hitch. It's been awesome.
And you guys, I see you have a donation location here too, where
a lot of the communities come out and drop food and everything like that for people.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem.
Take care of yourselves, and you're good, all right?
Take care.
Bye. So like I said, they had donations, and they're taking it seriously. I thought I was going to housekeeping, but it turned out that folks have been, I mean, he's pretty willing to talk. Yeah, man. But that's a tough one, man. I mean, that demand set is really difficult, though, to think about it, because like I said on the short list, like that's a big issue to try to solve within a 2-week period. When I say 2 weeks, because it seems like the right now, that's kind of like the benchmark for time right now, is that after 2 weeks they become residents. But it's interesting to see that he said that no one's called in trespassing on him. So, sorry, I'm trying to put gloves on, guys. It is, I mean, talking right into the point, it is super cold out here. So, it makes me really curious to know, like, what the, what the take is from Sean, the owner. So, yeah, but I mean, it's to be real fair. I mean, like the front desk clerk said, it's been a nonviolent group, and based on the conversation I just had and the open, I mean, that's honestly more reception than I've gotten from a lot more than I expected to get. I'll say that. A whole lot more than I thought I was going to get. I thought immediately it was going to be a, get the hell out situation, but they had an open door, and he was really willing to talk. So I respect and appreciate that, because any of these things that happen, it all comes down to conversations that need to take place so we can figure out what to do about it. So he made some really interesting points, though, that were surprising to me, and I think kind of set maybe him back a little bit too, is about if this were to put the business owner out of work and put him in the street, would the actions justify the outcome? And that's a tough one, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure that Sean, the owner, would disagree, but it sounds like he's working with him to make some kind of resolution and to figure out some kind of amicable way to sort through what's taking place. So it's interesting. It's interesting.